In this second lesson on articulation and expression, we're going to go into a few more ideas about how you can bring vocal qualities into your playing to make it more expressive, right? Articulation, again, is how you do it. Expression is what it sounds like. So to get a certain expression, you articulate the notes a certain way, right? And that's basically what it is all about. So, well, I could go on, but why bother? Let's just get right to it, okay? The first technique we're going to cover is vibrato. Vibrato is a very vocal quality. If you listen to opera or Broadway musicals from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, even into current day, all these singers are classically trained in the art of singing, and vibrato was very much a part of that training. So you hear it in all of that music. You hear vibrato in popular music today. Most singers are not classically trained, but they naturally have a vibrato. Getting classically trained helps you learn to control the vibrato so that what you're doing with vibrato is deliberate. And so here on the guitar, vibrato is also a very deliberate action. All right? There are 4 types of vibrato I'm going to show you, but we're not necessarily going to employ all 4. I just want to make you aware of them, and we may demonstrate one or more of them throughout this section of this lesson. Okay, so let's get going. Our first example of vibrato is a more classical music-based one. String players, violin, viola, cello, even double bass, they employ this approach. And there's no written material here. This is a visual. It's easier just to show you. So you start, we're on the 9th fret. You can play anywhere, 7th fret, you know, it doesn't matter. We're on the 9th fret here. So you play the note, and then you move your finger back and forth on the length of the string. So you can go slow. You can go fast. You can go really fast. So I'm playing really clean so you can hear the vibrato. And again, if you need to rewind at any point, go ahead and review. It's up to you how you want to go about that. So again, you're moving your finger back and forth like this. You're rolling on your finger. Now, because we have frets, the pitch of the note doesn't really change. On a classical instrument like a violin, the pitch actually does dip below and a little above. Here's neutral. So you do this, you're going to have the pitch move just slightly ever so sharp by a couple of cents. And then when you roll back, the same thing. On the guitar, you're getting more just kind of a flanging effect. The string is flexing a little bit, but it's not going to flex flat so much as it is going to flex a little sharp. All right? So that's the first vibrato technique, the rolling finger. So pause the video and practice this. And then when you're ready for the next one, press play and we'll keep going. The second vibrato technique is one most guitar players use, and I use it as well. Again, we're at the 9th fret. So basically, you literally just play the note and pull to the floor and release and relax your pull. But you still want to maintain downward pressure. Now, you can push, if you want. So you have down, up. And you want to control this. Again, there's narrow and there's wide. Right? And the same thing going up. It's up to you how you want to approach this, but it does need to be deliberate and intentional, very controlled. Okay? So pause the video, practice this for a little while, get comfortable with it, and then when you're ready to move forward, press play and we'll keep going. The third technique in vibrato is one that is not particularly commonly used. What you're going to do is you're going to pull and push. So, again, it's not very common, but it is an interesting effect. I don't find this particularly useful, but I want to share it with you just in case you find a use for it. I want you to be able to take advantage of any and every trick in your bag. All right? So, and that's pretty much it. So if you want to practice this one, pause the video and go for it. Take a couple of minutes just to understand it, if nothing else. And then when you're ready to continue, we'll keep going. The fourth and final technique for playing vibrato is a circular pattern. So let me show you. Let me get my finger out of the way here. I'm going to go real slow. So what you do is you push forward and then pull towards the floor, round about and to the back of the fret, then push over towards the fourth string, then roll forward, come down, roll back, come up, roll forward, you know, so it's this motion. You're defining a circle, quite literally. So let me see how well I can do this. Okay. And that's it. I practiced this off and on over the years. I don't really find myself using it a whole lot, but it's a great technique to learn and understand because there are times where that is precisely the effect I'm looking for. Okay? So, pause the video yet again. Practice this. Really get familiar with it. Just literally walk your finger back and forth without even playing, just so you can get used to it. Okay, and also, oh, by the way, for all of the vibrato techniques, your thumb has to be in contact with the neck, whether you're behind like this for the first technique, whether you're hanging over the edge for the second technique, you know, and the third technique, and then this one, right? And you really just kind of got to hang on for dear life. So make sure your thumb is engaged as well. And so practice this. And when you're ready to continue, go ahead, restart the video, and we'll move forward. The graphic you see is just different ways of showing how a vibrato is going to be expressed in notation and tablature. Now, the first diagram just shows we're playing at 9, right? And you're just going to play whatever version of vibrato you want. Here's the classical technique, and here's the pull technique, push technique, the push-pull, and the circular. Whoops, go the right way. All right. And then the second graphic, the second diagram, shows a big, fatter, bolder squiggly line. That's wide vibrato. The smaller squiggly line is just a little vibrato, regular vibrato, if you will. The big fat one is wide vibrato. Now the third graphic shows you bending a string. I'm at 7, bending up to 9, right? Now, we all know how to bend a string, but how do you do vibrato at the top of a bend? And that's what this is about. What you do is you bend the string, and then you slightly relax and push it back up to the pitch. See, I'm doing it kind of slow. There's how we normally do it. So, up, slightly release, push back to the pitch, slightly release, and make it consistent. So the object here is to always hit the same 2 pitches. The full bend, and then whatever quarter, eighth bend, differential. You don't want to be all over the map. You want to be consistent. Okay? Now, the fourth graphic shows a bend, but a delay in the vibrato. So you bring it in, hold, and then bring in the vibrato. I prefer to do that. I don't just go right into the vibrato. That's a classical technique, and it's great in a lot of ways, but sometimes you want to differentiate and have bring that vibrato in later. So that's how you do that. Now, the very last graphic is you bend up and then do that. So here we're just doing the typical pull. Just like that, okay? All right. There are the ways to play vibrato with regard to how you employ them, right? So practice these things. Pause the video, practice them. If you need to rewind and look at the demonstration again, that's fine, do that, then pause and practice these 5 different approaches to playing a typical vibrato. All right, you've got the regular, the wide, bend the string vibrato, bend the string and delay the vibrato, bend up to a note and then come down to a different note vibrato. And as for that, you can hold and then again delay the vibrato. It's up to you how you want to do that. So practice these things and get them down, all right? And really make it work. Vibrato is an important technique, and remember, it's a deliberate and intentional thing you're doing, so you want to be consistent in the execution. And that's the challenge. All right? There you go. When you're ready to continue, press play, and we'll keep going. This lick that you're seeing here is one I characterize as the equivalent of putting your finger in somebody's chest to make a point. And it's a 3/2 lick, and I explained 3/2 and how to play that in great detail in my step-by-step into soloing course, subtitled 3/2 and other things. So you can look at it and look for that subheading 3/2. And I go into very great detail on how to break it down and make sure you're playing it correctly. I have a graphic there that shows you everything. So what I'm going to do here is just real quickly explain. You take the first 2 beats and you turn them into 2 sets of triplets. So now you're going 1 and a, 2 and a. And the 3 notes that you play in those 2 beats are very evenly spaced. So you play it like this. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and 4. So 3 and 4 are not part of the triplet. So 1 and 2 and right? And then 3, you bend, and then you release in time 3 and without picking 4. So it's like an invisible bend in one sense. So 3 and 4. So the whole lick is like that. Okay? So pause the video. If you want to rewind and catch the way you count the 3/2 lick again, go ahead and do that. Then pause and practice it and get it clear, get it playing well. And like I said, this is the putting your finger in somebody's chest for emphasis lick. That's just how I characterize it. And you can hear it in Robbie Krieger's solo in Light My Fire. It's very clear. That's where we all got it. And so then, after practicing this a little bit, press play and we'll go on to the next one. The lick you're going to learn now is one of the coolest blues licks ever. It's just the first beat. The stuff that comes after is secondary. It should be really cool too, but it's the first thing you do. That's the lick, and it's really got this cool vocally kind of quality to it. You put your 4th finger at the 10th fret of the 2nd string, and you put your 1st finger at the 8th fret of the 3rd string. And you can hear that dissonance, right? And so what you're going to do is you're going to slide your 1st finger back 1 fret. So you're going to play this as a double stop with a slide, like that. Okay? 1, 2, and 3, E, and. Okay? And now you can add a little vibrato. Two types of vibrato there. Okay? So, pause the video. If you want to watch the demonstration again to make sure you understand it, go ahead and do that. Then pause the video and practice this. Get it down and make sure you understand how it works. Now, I want to caution you about this lick. You don't want to overuse this. It is such a cool lick. You need to use it sparingly. It catches guitar players' attention, let me tell you, right? And it's really cool. It's awesome. So don't be surprised if somebody comes up to you later and says, "What was that lick you played?" And they're referring to this one. Okay? So practice this, and then when you're ready to continue, press play, and we'll keep going. All right, one more lick here. This is a lick that I call the uh-oh lick because it sounds like you're saying, uh-oh. Now you can bend up, choke it off, put some separation, and then come back to there. So you're on the 7th fret of the 3rd string, bending up to that note, and then coming back to the 5th fret of the 3rd string with your 1st finger. And you can add a little vibrato. So it sounds kind of like uh-oh. Now you can put a little staccato on that 1st note. Right? Now the 2nd one is sliding into the note instead of bending into the note. And the same thing, you want to use staccato. So as soon as you hit the note, choke it. Come back to the 5th fret, same string. That's the uh-oh lick, okay? So, pause the video, practice this, and when you're ready to continue, we'll wrap things up. All right, there you go. Some more stuff for you to work on to bring more articulated expression into your playing so that you can bring your solos to life in a way they didn't previously possess. And that's an important thing, to really try to get your stuff as expressive as possible, to help you reflect the mood of the song more accurately. See, this is part of what articulation and expression is about, is helping you to be able to craft your solos or learn to play other people's solos the way they're doing it, to get that feeling and that emotion going, because how you express that emotion is through articulation, how you articulate the notes. And that's what this is all about, is to help you get a firmer grasp on these concepts, okay? So, when you're ready for the next lesson, it'll be waiting for you. We'll see you then. Hey, thanks for watching. If you press the little red button down there in the corner, you'll be subscribed to Outsmart Your Guitar. If you then hit the notification bell, you'll be informed when we upload new material, which is usually around once a week. Below the video in the description, you will see a link that will take you to where you can download a PDF of the lesson material that accompanies this video. All lessons contain a link to give you access to the written material for that lesson. Below that, you will see a link to Patreon Outsmart Your Guitar, where I have a lot of material that isn't included here. So you may want to check that out. There's 2 levels of subscription. I'd really appreciate if you would become a patron by subscribing at one of the 2 levels and help support my efforts to continue to provide high quality lesson material for you, to help you learn, play, and grow to become the guitar player you desire to be. All right, thanks very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And hey, we'll see you soon.